Hey guys, I saw Despicable Me a few days ago, and I have to be honest, I had to watch the trailer again to try to remember what the plot was in that zany movie. I'm a fan of the Despicable Me movies. I think that they serve a great purpose. They're crazy. They are filled with all kinds of great sight gags. I like the Minions, but they're a little uneven in terms of carrying a plot and getting you to care about the characters. I still think out of all the movies in the franchise, Despicable Me 2 was my favorite so far, but Despicable Me 4 does have some charms, absolutely. Most of which, I have to say, have to deal with Will Ferrell, who surprised me as the bad guy, Maxime Le Mal, who wants to infect the world and take over the world, because we know that the world of Despicable Me is just rife with crazy and zany supervillains, of which Gru is one of the most formidable, but now he's trying to keep the peace, and he's got all kinds of his former allies in maximum security imprisonment, and so he's got some enemies out there, and the whole plot of the film sort of deals with Gru and his family going into witness protection and having to assume fake identities and blend in with this quote-unquote normal city, and he's got wacky neighbors. One of them is Stephen Colbert, and we've got all kinds of hijinks that ensue as this crazy larger-than-life family tries to blend into society. There's this insane subplot where Kristen Wiig's character, Lucy Wilde, becomes this hairdresser named Blanche, and she does a terrible job, and one of her customers is chasing after her like she's the Terminator, which is, there's lots of these pop culture homages and lots of sight gags and stuff, and of course, the Minions get into all kinds of trouble. One of them spends the entirety of the movie inside of a vending machine, and some of them are pretty funny. They even have the Minions becoming superheroes, kind of like the Fantastic Four with all kinds of abilities. A fusion of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. One of them has Cyclops' laser eye and does all kinds of damage. A couple of them are super strong. One is just like the Thing. One of them becomes a super soldier-like, and one of them is very stretchy like Mr. Fantastic. So, you know, that's meant to appeal to superhero fanatics like myself, guilty as charged, that want to see some crazy visual effects. Listen, I had an okay time at this movie. The music was alright, and Ferrell Williams contributes some songs and some themes to the Enterprise. So you're bopping along, you're watching all of these little vignettes. It's almost like a sketch comedy with, you know, Minions rolling in for a little bit, Gru and his family getting a little bit crazy. One of the neighbor kids actually takes a shine to Gru and looks up to him and wants to contribute and start to learn his anti-villain league capabilities. And so there's an interesting kind of caper comedy subplot where they have to infiltrate a villainous lair and steal something together. And you know what? It's all pretty charming. It's definitely busy. It's definitely noisy. I think the kids were entertained in the audience. It was a full crowd for this preview screening, so I think that there is a huge fan base out there. But I do have to say, for a film franchise that is almost guaranteed to make a certain amount of money, I do wish that the filmmakers got a little bit more ambitious. You know, this is a crowded, crazy, zany, somewhat fun movie, but it's also quite forgettable, and I'm never going to forget Pixar's Inside Out 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give Despicable Me 4 a 6.5 out of 10.